What's going on, guys? Suresh here, 221B Tactical. Today we are going over our Extremity Patrol Glove 2.0, the second edition of our hugely popular regular patrol glove, our Extremity Patrol Glove, now with some added features that we're going to go over today. Now, I designed this glove because so many people wanted a glove that didn't have cut resistance, didn't have needle protection, didn't have impact protection. Those are all features that we feature on a lot of our other gloves. Most of our glove line has those features, but so many of you wanted just a basic glove. Nice and thin, good dexterity, gave you some basic features, and just a baseline protection of your hand. So when you're patting people down, you're making contact with people, you have that baseline protection. Myself, personally, on patrol, before I was designing gloves, I was using I believe a Rawlings baseball batter's gloves. They were just regular batter's gloves. I think I got at Dick's Sporting Goods that I was using. They were thin. They offered me good dexterity. They didn't offer a lick of protection when it comes to blades or needles or anything like that. But I liked using them because they were thin, good dexterity. If I need to grab my weapon, I knew I could get a good grip purchase on my weapon. And when I was patting people down and maybe doing searches, I knew I could, find small objects, feel small objects on their person. It was just a good all-around glove. Some guys used football wide receivers gloves. Once again, same thing. A nice, tight, form-fitting glove that gives you good dexterity. That's what everyone wants. As I started to design more and more gloves that had the cut protection, as you know, our Guardian gloves, level 5 cut protection, our Hero gloves, which are level 3 needle protection, and our other impact protection gloves, a lot of guys came back and said, you know what? I love all those gloves that have all that protection, but what I would really like is a nice, thin, baseline glove. And just like I use on patrol, that's what I designed. However, I designed it specifically for first responders, particularly police officers, because this was the kind of glove I was personally using on patrol. So nice and thin. You see it's very form-fitted here, just like you would have a batter's glove or a wide receiver's glove. Now you'll see we used about 8 different materials on this glove to give you the dexterity that you desire while on duty. Now, why did we use 8 different materials? Because different materials have a different purpose on each part of the glove. You see here, we have a soft touch material. It almost feels like a suede material. That gives you the ability to grip and to have the feeling of your weapon, if you were to draw your weapon, or maybe if you have a knife in your hand, what have you. You see along the inside, in between the fingers here, we have a stretch lycra material. That is what gives you that added flexibility and that added dexterity. You see here, we have a heavier duty stretch material on the back of your hand. You'll see that is a flex point here. A lot of glove manufacturers, they use a stiff material here, so when you go to bend your hand here, you can see my knuckles even popping through. When you go to flex your hand, you're restricted, and you don't want that. So everywhere on the glove that is a different part of your hand that moves differently and functions differently while you're moving your hand, I used a different material. Now, most of you know my background in biochemistry, graduated pre-med, so I took a lot of anatomy classes, and I am crazy about having things work functionally with your body. Obviously, you probably know about the Max Drive vest and all that stuff, but this glove was designed specifically for high dexterity. You have a baseball batter's glove or football wide receiver's glove. Those are nice gloves, but usually it's one single material with a single cut. What I did with the cut on this glove was I changed it in different areas around the fingers and into the knuckles here to make it more form-fitting and to give you that superior dexterity that police officers need. I'm not saying that wide receivers in the NFL and batters in Major League Baseball don't need good dexterity and a good grip, but they're doing something different. They're catching a football, they're gripping a bat, that's it. Single material works fine for them. we're doing something different. We are patting down, we're feeling small objects. We may need to draw a weapon and fire a weapon. We may need to climb inside of a vehicle to get someone out if there's a crash or something like that. If we need to make entry into a home, we may be going up a ladder, we may be going through a window. These are all dynamic situations that athletes don't have to worry about, but police officers in particular have to worry about. And that's why I put those design elements into this glove. Now, you'll see the material I used on the palm here is slightly rubberized, and it's strategically placed. It's rubberized once again for that additional grip that we need if we are grabbing using a tool, if we're grabbing our weapon, what have you. So strategically placed high grip rubber, and what this allows is also grip in the event you have your gloves wet. So if the gloves get wet or you're dealing with the weather elements, you still have the ability to get a good purchase on that weapon or a knife or a Leatherman tool, whatever it is you're using. Very important, especially for first responders. We have a nice heavy duty Velcro tab here, of course with the 221B Tactical logo on it. We have a nice pull tab here to help pull the glove on, and once again you see you have that nice form-fitting feature. And of course, most importantly, that everyone wanted to be concerned about was touchscreen. Are the gloves going to have that touchscreen? Because you gotta, when you're doing your tactical ninja stuff, you gotta be able to swipe on the gram or Facebook or whatever app you're using, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever you guys are using. So we wanted to be able to give you that ability too. The gloves that I used, those batter's gloves and things like that, they didn't have that technology. So what happened was, when I was dealing with someone, if I needed to pull out my phone and call a supervisor, or I needed to get back in the car and use the touchscreen in my car, I had to take my gloves off, and it just got cumbersome. So now we have the touchscreen technology on the index finger and on the thumb that gives you the ability to pinch, drag, pinch, do whatever you need to do on your phone, on your tablet. A lot of agencies issuing tablets now, or your in-car computer, so you don't have to take the glove on and off. And the basic thing, all joking aside about checking your social media pages and your Tinders and all that, is that if you are on a scene and you do need to make a phone call to a supervisor or another party, sometimes you don't know what's going to happen. The scene is dynamic, so you don't want to take your gloves off. You want to keep your gloves on. So another realistic, important feature about having that touchscreen technology on the fingertips. And you see here on the back of the glove here, we have a nice breathable mesh, so it gives you the ability to have some breathability while wearing the glove. So whether you are working in the summertime or you're working in the wintertime, these gloves are going to give you a nice baseline coverage and protection of your hands. Now, lastly, you'll see this strap here. This strap here is carried over from our original Extremity Patrol glove, the 1.0 version. We brought that over to the 2.0 version. Of course, we upgraded all the materials, but what that allows you to do is, as many of you know, mount our hands-free lighting system. Now, there's a separate video about our hands-free lighting system, but what this does here with this Picatinny rail clip is mount directly to the glove. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the glove right now. Now, it comes with an optional pressure pad that mounts inside the index finger of the glove, but what I'm going to do is show you how this goes on right now. So it's very simple. You have this Picatinny rail clip, and you essentially just slip that over this strap here. So I'm going to do that really quick. Actually, I'll do it right here on camera so you guys can see how I'm doing it. Hopefully I'm doing this right. And you just slide it in just like that. Slide that in there and slide that over, and now it's mounted on the glove. Now, this is where the optional pressure pad mounts in if you want to use that feature. If not, you don't have to. Once again, we got that very nice pull tab here, helps pull that glove on. So now you have the hands-free lighting feature. Now, this was meant to replace a light in your hand, a handheld flashlight. A lot of people see this automatically and they're like, well, I got a weapon mounted light, I got a light on my gun, so I don't need that. Well, That's not what it was meant to do. It was meant to take the flashlight that you hold in your hand on car stops, on roadside encounters, going into a building on a call, doing whether it's a call for service, first aid call, what have you. You're holding that light in your hand. Typically, you're holding that light in your off hand because you want to have your gun hand free. You don't want to have your gun hand occupied. So you have that light in your off hand. But the problem is now one hand is out of the fight. And if there is an actual fight, that light is most likely hitting the ground. If you're going over a fence, that light is most likely hitting the ground. You get into a tussle on the side of the road, on a car stop, what have you. Intoxicated person, doesn't matter. That light, because you're going to go grab that person, that light is hitting the ground. Many of you who've experienced this can speak to this. So what I did to not have that situation, not have that cumbersome light in your hand, was to take that light and now mount it here. Now you have the ability to touch it here, and we might be in strobe mode, so I'm going to switch off of strobe mode and just go solid. So you'll see here, there is a little button on either side of the light where you could just touch and turn the light on, okay? So now you have a 500 lumen light on your hand, and you have both hands free. So if you go to a car stop and you walk up to the car, you have both hands free. You have one hand to touch that car, one hand to look in the car, and over 80% of agencies polled do not have lights mounted on their weapons. Yes, I couldn't even believe that when I got that number. Now, the agency I worked at didn't have weapon-mounted lights. They were prohibited for a multitude of reasons. Most agencies prohibit the weapon-mounted light because they don't want officers using the light on their weapon as a flashlight. So they prohibit it. Understood, but you're trusting guys with guns and putting a badge on their chest. You got to trust that they're not going to use their gun as their flashlight. However, it's happened. There's been some concerns, and that's why I think the number was just over 80% of agencies, some crazy number like that, do not allow weapon-mounted lights. Now, many of these agencies said that they do allow the weapon-mounted lights for canine officers because canine officers are a little bit of a disadvantage because they're working the dog, they have the lead. And in our agency, I believe the canine handlers were able to get that weapon-mounted light, and many agencies, and maybe in your agency too. But why is that? Why? Because the canine handlers, they have the dog, the lead, they can't have the light in their hand because if they need to draw their weapon, they need that light. Well, patrol officers who are not working a dog, we need that extra hand too. We don't want to have one hand out of the fight. So now you have the 500 lumen light viewable from a nautical mile away. You can get that optional pressure switch which mounts in the side of the light and routes internally in the glove and allows you to just touch your thumb against the side of your finger here and activate the light. I don't have that on this glove, but you can watch our other videos on the channel where I demonstrate that light, a phenomenal feature that most everyone gets. So you just touch with your finger, you activate the light. When I was on patrol and I was just going on car stops, I would just touch, turn on the light, walk up to the car, and now I have two hands. I'm talking to someone, I'm looking in the car, I have this hand free. They hand me some documents, I could look at their documents, and I'm still looking in their car. Once again, I don't have a weapon-mounted light. I'm not talking about a weapon-mounted light, I'm talking about the light I would have in my hand. So what would I typically do on a car stop? Well, I would go up, I'd have the light in my off hand, and I would be looking in the car. They would give me their documents. I'd be looking at their documents here, kind of looking here. So now both my hands are occupied. Now I have stuff in both my hands. I have my light and I have their documents. And now what am I doing? So now I would go up, whether it's roadside encounter, car stop, I'd go up, I'd have my light on, be looking in the car, I'd have this hand free to look at documents. And if I saw something squirrely in the car, or maybe someone was trying to get out of the car, I had this hand free. I could draw my weapon if need be. The light tracks right down the barrel of my weapon. We carried SIG right down the barrel, and now I have this hand free, no light in it. I have this hand free to get on my radio, ask for another car. I have this hand to get to something else on my belt, what have you. But this hand was free to do whatever I wanted. Didn't have a light in it taking up that real estate, that needed real estate where I need this hand. So hands-free lighting. You're patting someone down, whether you want to do a bag search, a vehicle search, it doesn't matter. We have all those videos on our channel. But, you know, you're going into a pocket, you're looking in, you just shine that light in there before you reach in. And remember, we don't reach our hand into pockets. We pull the material out to pull out what's inside the pocket. But this gives you the ability, while you're searching and you're patting down, to once again not have a light in your hand and trying to search and pat down one-handed. Now you could go ahead and search and pat down two-handed, do that collar search, do that belt line search, you know, search their socks along their boot line. You have that all with the ability with both hands. And if they get squirrely, you have that ability to grab them with both your hands, and secure them and not have to worry about dropping that light. So you have that added function, that added capability on the Extremity Glove 2.0 that we carried over from the original Extremity Glove Patrol Glove. So a lot of people are falling in love with this feature, this light, after they try it. At first, they're like, I'm not sure about this. It looks like, is it tactical? A little bit of a gimmick. Believe me when I tell you, the awesome testimonials we get from people who go ahead and jump in 2 feet, they get it, and once they start using it, they can't go back to holding a flashlight in their hand again. I don't even know how many testimonials of people saying that. So just think about the freedom of having both hands free when you're on patrol, when you're dealing with subjects, and think about how nice it would be. Think about what possibilities would open up for you if you never had to hold that little light in your hand again, or one of those big lights in your hand again, those big mag lights, like when I started on patrol. So, Extremity Patrol Glove 2.0. We got the blue line in there too, of course, thin blue line. We got the blue lettering now. So check it out. It's on our website, 221btactical.com. If you have any questions about this glove, with the light or without the light, it's available in both versions, no matter how you want it. And of course, the light comes off easily. And of course, the light mounts on either hand. Goes without saying, you get a full pair of gloves when you order the gloves, and you can mount this light on either hand, whatever hand you feel best with it on. Righties sometimes have it on their left hand, same, or vice versa. So it's up to you. If you have any questions, email us. Our email team is there 24/7 around the clock to answer your questions. sales@221btactical.com is the email address. You email sales@221btactical.com. We have reps on both coasts, the right coast and the left coast, waiting to get back to you and answer your questions. So we know these are big purchases for you. Gloves are I was very particular about gloves. So we want to make sure that you have all the information you need before you go ahead and spend your hard-earned money and make that purchase. So once again, the website, go there now, check out the gloves. I'm going to put a link below to check out the gloves, learn more about them, more features. Read the reviews. The reviews are key. You want to read the reviews. I always read reviews. You want to read the reviews. You want to see what someone else says that already got it and already took the leap, and see what they say about it. So go ahead, click the link below, go there now, read the reviews, and don't forget, of course, like the video. If you like the video, give it that thumbs up for an awesome video, and of course subscribe to our channel, because then you get notified when we're doing our giveaways and when we have our new videos going live on the YouTube. So check it out. Check out the website, 221btactical.com. Give us an email. Give us a shout out on social media. If you have any questions, DM, slide into the DMs. If you want, whatever your choice is to get in touch with us, please do. We know you have questions. You work hard. Your livelihood is on the line, and we understand and respect that. Of course, doing the job for 13 years, I totally get that. So, most importantly, for those of you who are on the job, wearing the uniform, protecting us, watch their hands, watch your six, and get home safe. We will see you next time.